maps we haven't seen yet today by Negative Zero. I'm not gonna lie, I always love Negative Zero's texture colors. This black and white looks awesome. He has made so many awesome maps in Reapers and Map contests and for the ladder. And a couple that are not so well loved as well. Redshift. Sorry. Yeah, Redshift was not the best, but we'll get past it. Top right hand side. The blue Terran is aLive. As we have to the bottom left, Ziggy, who's going to build up some proxies. So, what this is another build here where, or another map where it's got these mineral warlocks, but there's going to be a proxy rack Reaper to get started. I mean, it's one of those, like, there's so much Reaper space along here, right? And I guess that's one of the things where you've got so much space to use with the Reapers, even over on this far right side as well. It's kind of like a big main base, and I guess that just does expose you to these sort of openings, these sort of attacks. Let's see how it goes as we see, oh, well, aLive's going to come around and scout pretty much right away. I mean, basically, the main use of this map is going to be breaking down these minerals to access this base here, rather than coming down towards this base, perhaps. As we do see, the Reapers are going, or the barracks are going to be found, so Reapers on the way out. Two SCVs pulling away as the factory from aLive gets started up in the main base. This SCV probably could have... I actually think Ziggy should mine these minerals, because then he doesn't get caught with his Reapers, right? Like, if he jumps down here, his Reapers have to then either jump up in one of these locations or loop back around over here, right? By blinding these minerals, he can jump down here, come over here, and jump up there if that's where he wants to jump up. So it just limits him less. You can see the Marine here able to push back that first Reaper. He actually just doesn't have a Reaper at all here aLive. He just goes straight into his Marine production. Helps him get the factory a bit faster because he doesn't have the 50 gas in a Reaper. Obviously, Marines aren't maybe as great against Reapers. It's a little bit scary at points. And as you do see those Reapers coming up, Marines hanging up on the high ground. And the Reaper getting pushed away. Another Reaper popping as the racks lifts up, and another Reaper is about to pop as well. Starport coming up on the bottom side of the map, ready to come in here. So Starport on the bottom, I mean, this Proxy Starport is always a very popular way to follow up against Proxy Rax Reaper, because the Liberator comes in when there isn't much anti-air available and can generally deny some mining and so on. Not much left in this main base is aLive, although he doesn't get the Hellion. Now a second Hellion popping out. Having already taken some shots on the Reapers and lining up the shots for the Hellions. This is painful. Now Reapers go down very quickly. It's such a small little gap between being extremely successful with this Proxy Rax Reaper and not really being successful at all with it. And, like, you know, if those two Reapers survive and kill a Hellion there right away, maybe this continues very nicely for Ziggy, but as it stands, not looking great. He was actually building a Hellion here, cancels it and builds a tech lab as the Starport is now done. Liberate on the way, but it's going to be done so much before the Cyclone is ready to defend this. That is really, really going to hurt. A few Marines here from aLive pushing this barracks away to the upper right-hand side, and we are going to be seeing Ziggy going to try and come through the center. Continue to come through in towards the middle, so still coming into the middle here as we get this ready to go. Again, Chicken Man, thank you so much as well. Quick sub shout out here. Chicken Man with the 12 months in a row, big 1 year as the Liberator sieges up, says, been a great 12 months, thanks for the awesome content, thank you so much. As again, Liberator picking up a couple of kills here, a couple of SCVs going down, Hellion still pressing through. Oh my god, well, Hellion's in the main base as well. It's something that generally shouldn't happen. These SCVs are not just not mining, they are dying. Unfortunately, for loss aversion, it's a past contest or so, right? There's a couple of map makers who are maybe more well known than others, but appreciate the help. Alright, top left-hand side, down a game. Our yellow Terran is Ziggy, up against the red Terran in the bottom right, aLive. So this is another map where the mineral block-offs are a feature. Oh, this is actually really interesting. Huh. So, there is a super narrow pathway here without mining minerals. But it's really narrow, like Ulrena narrow, if not more so. So that's pretty cool. And then over here we have all of these minerals, which also block off the wider access point. So really, you either go through a super narrow path or you go all the way around. Well, an SCV scout is good because you can already open up a little bit more of this pathway if you want to. But it's 20 minerals, so it's actually not just a one-trip sort of affair. Oh man, that's actually crazy. Oh, that's actually really interesting. Huh. This is going to be a bit of an interesting one then, because it's a very standard size map, I feel, which is sort of going to be kind of made to feel so much larger because of these little features. Now this is cool. I like this so far. Alright, well, we do see the factory building up in the main base. Again, that's started. And aLive just on the double gas here, but he's only on a couple of workers in gas still, so he will go down to the low ground and expand. Expansion from Ziggy comes in, he's on a single gas, which means he's got a later factory, but of course his command center comes in just a little bit earlier. I think generally it's considered that this build from Ziggy is a little bit of a build order advantage over the build order here of aLive, because aLive's is a bit more defensive of the faster factory while still only having 3 workers on gas, and it's the factory not coming in fast enough or committed to hard enough to really deal any damage from there, right? Because, you know, you barely have the gas to start up anything other than a Hellion. So it's just a very safe, you know, it's just a safer expansion compared to Ziggy, who just expands right away. And again, if there's no pressure coming in, shouldn't be an issue. Although Ziggy's Reaper takes a couple of shots, so that's painful. As this bunker at the front is a proportion Ziggy is taking right now, but well, his Reaper again losing this fight initially, but then of course faster reinforcements because he is the defender here, and we'll be able to push the Reaper of aLive away, and very nearly gets the kill. aLive taking a turn, has to get out of the map, or get out of the way. And that Reaper gets poked off here. We're going to see 2 Reapers in the center hitting the Reaper of aLive. And some big damage there as we see the Hellion coming forwards as well. Grenades cutting down to buy some time, forces the Hellion to take a bit of a turn. aLive going to come chasing. He's killed 1 Reaper so far. Bunker is up though, so that bunker's going to work out nicely. And it actually means that Ziggy doesn't have to bother himself with the tech lab or anything here. Reaper does jump up and go straight into the main to pick away at a few of these SCVs already. So starting to do a little bit of damage. Again, that bunker at the front with a single Reaper inside of it. Just hanging out at the moment. Reaper and a Hellion from aLive hanging back out on the bottom right side. I mean, the bunker works nicely here because it's such a narrow entrance to the natural that you can't really dive by very easily. You can't avoid the bunker at all. I like it. And the bunker's close enough as well to be kind of very close to the mineral line, so you cover a bit of that too. And yeah, then you can dive back in. I like it. It's a good choice from Ziggy, I think, rather than wasting time with the Hellion, etc. Just goes straight into his tech lab. Cyclone catches up a little bit from what was a later factory originally anyways. Excuse me again for a moment, guys. A little bit of a cough, so every now and then if you hear me like hit the microphone as I try and pull it up, it's just because I'm about to cough and I want to try and avoid that coming into the stream. Ravens. I think I'm at W's as R's as well. Raven on the way out from the start borders. The Reaper actually picking up 2 and about to be 3 SCVs. That's pretty sick from Ziggy. Nice little counterattack, bit of damage. Ziggy getting some good damage done here, put himself in a good spot as the Hellion and the Reapers coming through. Getting that Reaper down in the back. Command center of aLive coming up in the main base. So 3rd CC going to be set in a moment or so. Scans up on the high ground. As a couple of Marines do pop out to the low ground. Stimpack is on its way up here now from Ziggy as well, so that's going to be coming through. And we do have the 2 Reapers, the Hellion and the Cyclone, coming out towards the upper left-hand side. So aLive looking to apply a little bit of pressure. Again, this Hellion from Ziggy off to this little side as well. And it's the one thing that Ziggy has outside of that bunker. It will go down, unfortunately, just for a little bit of guard, but the siege tank is obviously very well placed, and now a second one as well. There's no entering this 2-base area of Ziggy at all. And you see the Cyclone in the center on the main base, able to get some shots on from that Reaper. This Marine gets shut down as well by this Cyclone in the center too. Hellion pulling back down in towards the natural, as we are going to be seeing another siege tank coming out and Starport swapping over. aLive has a 3rd CC, and that's something Ziggy does not have. So a 3 CC from aLive. Ziggy's already up 7 workers though, so that's pretty good at the moment. Just going to be seeing the scan, obviously identifying what's going on. Reaper hanging out to the left. Cyclone still just holding the top side. Well, here's a little bit of a larger push, so moment of truth. Do tanks fit through the gap? They should do quite easily, I think. There we go. So obviously so far those minerals in the center have not really been influential at all. aLive coming in here now then, and this map has a lot of positions where you can kind of get into location and so on with the units. He's going to have to lead in with the Ravens here. Oh my god, that's going to be a lot of damage taken on that first tank though. It's the interference matrix now. Cyclone locks on as well, pushes that Raven back a little bit. Actually loads up and tries to drop on top. Auditors will come down to defend those tanks. Medevac goes down, but he gets the Cyclone lock on, and he will just kill the siege tanks because of it. Well, lost the tanks to the front though, Ziggy, but it's a good defense at the end of the day. It's enough to hold on. Resources lost definitely favoring aLive, but aLive has obviously been mining a lot less than Ziggy has. Ziggy with that income lead and still will hold that. Just missing the third CC, which is now on the way up. We'll want to move down into position as soon as possible. Marines chasing forwards there and able to clean up a couple of extra units. Oh, Medevac though, locked onto by the Cyclone. Boosts maybe a bit too late, and he isn't able to get out of range. Cyclone kills the two Marines that turn around to try and save the Medevac as well. So Cyclone really winning out in the last couple of moments. But still equal supplies here between Ziggy and aLive. Not too much of a difference between them for the moment. Just going to see the Medevac boosting over to the right side. Just trying to drop around a little bit, but there's a good defense from aLive in this position, right? A couple of Vikings are here. I mean, we see this sensor tower coming up as well, so he really wants to be knowledgeable about any attacks that potentially come into that position. I think he's actually ahead on upgrades. That's quite nice as well. We'll have to see him dealing with these couple of Liberators. But if he can deflect these Liberators, get the third base down in location, I kind of like this for Ziggy. Like, I like the position he's in. It feels good so far. Let's do a quick check around the map. Looks like it's mostly just water on the edges here. Nothing hidden away. Okay. Unless something's hidden away if we scroll. No, apparently not. Well, Yellow mentioned the map. He likes the colors of the map. Looks pretty. It does. It looks unique as well. I feel like we haven't seen a map with this like darker yellow being used to blue contrast. It is. I think pretty is the word for it. Liberator doesn't really care how pretty he is. He doesn't like yellow, and that's why he's killing all the yellow SCVs of Ziggy right now. And so he's going to siege up another Lib in the main. A couple of Marines underneath this one, but still will be SCVs going down. So Ziggy loses 10 workers. Reaper sees that third CC taken as Ziggy has come through the middle of the map and is maybe looking to try and press forwards himself. The SCVs surround the Reaper and will get the kill before another SCV is lost. Still have this Liberator up on the top side, just hanging out there. There's another scan dropping. Tanks pressing forwards. Anti-armor missile hits absolutely everything here. Tanks firing away. SCVs taking a lot of damage as well. So much damage being dealt. Got 7 workers down. You can see the supply depot picked off as well. And you can see now aLive going to press forwards and oh my god. Well, with the interference matrices, those tanks can't fight back and they can't unsiege either, so it's a straight up cleanup here from aLive. Nicely done, kills all those tanks, and there's a good position for Ziggy, but the tank count is going to hurt because now what does he have to defend if aLive pushes across? Yes, he has 15 more Marines. That doesn't matter if there's going to be tanks sieged up and so on. Marines are good and all, but against tanks, you really need just tanks of your own to hold positions, especially as well if the Ravens in play still from Ziggy 2. That's going to also be an issue, because the Ravens can come in and just throw down a couple of interference matrices onto those tanks. That hurts a little bit as well. You see those Marines coming down the right side. Ziggy doesn't have a lot here, and he's stretched to defend 3 bases. Ziggy needs to move in with this little bit of army. Where is the rest of his army? It just doesn't exist. There's one tank here going down. It's because he's got a drop over here as well, so Ziggy's going to enter a bit of a base trade. Well, he's going to get himself this orbital. That siege tank's doing so much damage over here. The Vikings are picking off these medevacs, so they try to dive the main. There's not a lot left for Ziggy, and he's also not going to hold on at the front because the Ravens once again just nullify the siege tank. And he just doesn't have anything to hold on with. The counterattacks not really going to do enough, and that's GG. aLive picks up game 2 against Ziggy. I'd say a good fight, though. You know, a good fight, a good little, you know, he didn't just fall over and die, as some people were suggesting he would in the chat. Some cool moves, but